Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn. And when I watch Bad Batch, Scorch is amazing to see, and I am not denying that. I think he is awesome whenever he is in the show, especially in action, because he takes on Hunter, Tech, Echo, and Gregor all at the same time, and he does so awesomely. I'm making up words just to describe how cool he was in Bad Batch. But the thing about that is, Scorch was never really like that in Republic Commando. I'm going to compare the members of Delta Squad to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because this is a perfect way to represent them all. Now, Boss was like Leo, not just because he was the leader, well, actually, that's a major reason why. Okay. But Boss was like the Leo of the team. Sev, who was Red, was actually like the Wrath. Now, when you watch Bad Batch, Scorch may seem like he was the Wrath. And that's kind of the thing here, because in the Delta Squad games, Scorch was actually like the Mikey of the group, and then Fixer was like the Donnie of the group. Now, tell me how he goes from the Mikey to being this extremely serious character. That's actually the reason I'm making this video. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over 3 theories I have that explain why I believe Scorch is different from how he was in Republic Commando. I'm sure a ton of people out there have these theories. I'm not stealing them. I just so happen to also think about them because they're not very complex theories. Okay, so my first theory is similar to Ninja. It's actually also going to involve Ninja Turtles. The Last Ronin. Now, The Last Ronin is a comic series where all the Turtles and Splinter are dead, with the exception of Mikey. And now, Mikey's not exactly the same person he once was. And that's kind of what this theory implies. Now, at the end of the first Republic Commandos game, we know that they lose Sev, okay? Sev probably is still alive, but Scorch doesn't know that. Now, my theory here is that Fixer and Boss both died in action. And it was probably something that did involve Scorch and the rest of them not following orders, and that's what led to them dying. Now, because of this, Scorch thinks that I gotta follow orders in order to save them. Or it's more of just that since he no longer has his squad, he has nothing. And like Vader, he has nothing. So Palpatine was the only person to take Vader in after he was a broken man and lost everything. I think it's just like that with Scorch, where he's lost his entire squad, and the only thing he has left to keep doing is being a soldier and following orders. And that's what I believe this theory is about. Where they've all died, maybe maybe Sev's still alive, but it doesn't really matter because he's missing. Or this could all just be wrong, and this theory is false, but that's the point of it. It's a theory. But yeah, the Last Ronin comics are actually pretty good. You should probably check them out if you're a fan of TMNT and a fan of the idea of that. But yeah, this theory involves all of them are gone, and Scorch he has nothing, so he wants to be a soldier, because that's all he's got left. That is my first theory. My second theory actually revolves around Hemlock. Now, in Bad Batch Season 2, we see Hemlock experimenting on clones, specifically Crosshair. We find out that he uses the clones as his test subjects. Since there's an endless supply of them, he uses them as test subjects, which is really screwed up because the clones have fought and died for the Republic. Some of them are just becoming test subjects, and then you have others like Mayday who just die for nothing when they could have been saved. This theory, however, indicates something else. It's not just Delta Squad or the Bad Batch. Basically, every commando has kind of been different, where they're not just orders. They're kind of their own free-range troopers that do how they want it. But in Bad Batch, it doesn't seem like that, because apart from the Batch themselves, the only other clone commando who's defected the Empire is Gregor. Now, this theory I have is that Hemlock is doing something to clone commandos that makes them like this. Like we saw in Bad Batch Season 1, the Kaminoans did something to Crosshair's chip. They enhanced it, making him more loyal to the Empire. This theory is that Hemlock did something different, and he only did it to clone commandos because they were the elite of the elite when it came to clone troopers. Now, this may seem like a really sick theory that I don't think Disney would want to do, like the clone commandos are all being experimented on, but that's just the thing. They've made it that the clones had no control of their brains and executed all the Jedi. So I do believe Disney could do this one, and that Scorch is just one of those commandos that Hemlock has done this to. But I kind of like my first theory a little more, although this would explain why apart from Gregor, no other commando has defected the Empire, which doesn't really seem like commandos. I mean, commandos are not the kind that actually follow rules. They're the more loose in battle in Star Wars. But yeah, that's my second theory, that Hemlock is doing something to clone commandos that makes them so loyal. Okay, my third theory is kind of a sad one, but it could be true, and it's probably true, unfortunately. Republic Commandos isn't canon. Okay, the squad themselves, in canon, apart from Scorch and Bad Batch, the only canon thing about them is their appearance in Clone Wars. So this theory is that Scorch is just different from who he was in Legends, and that they just did that for a bit of fan service where they made him a character. It's a sad theory, but it's kind of the most likely to be true out of all of mine, unfortunately, which I don't want that to be the case. Believe me, I don't. I want Scorch and I want the Republic Commando games to be canon. But it doesn't really seem like there's many other options of why Scorch would. All of my theories are kind of sad, except for the second one, which is still kind of messed up that Hemlock would do that to clones. My first theory is that they're all dead except maybe Sev and Scorch. But still, this is the most likely one, I believe, that Scorch is just different from who he was in Legends compared to who he is in canon. He's just not the same person, and I don't want that to be the case, but it's probably the one that Disney is going to do. Considering Bad Batch is only going to get one more season, we don't know. It's probably how they're going to do it, but I'm hopeful for my other theories because that would make Scorch more interesting. But I feel like, in my opinion, the one I would choose is my first option, that Scorch has just lost the rest of his squad. If you have any theories, you can let me know down in the comments. I'd actually be interested to hear about them, like why you think Scorch is so different from how he was in Republic Commando. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and I look forward to our next encounter in my next video.